Okay, let's get here and grade exam 6. So rating scale let's use here is essentially each problem is worth 7 points. If you leave one blank and don't put any answer at all for it, you lose 7. If you get a problem wrong, but you made an attempt at it, you lose 5. Dumb math errors, you lose 1. And then we'll just discuss maybe as we go on a case-by-case basis partial credit, other sorts of partial credit you get for a problem. Don't be overly harsh on yourself. So, one thing I want to say before we started here is it's potential that I might make a mistake while doing this. So, if so, if you think I made a mistake, send me an email message and we can look towards correcting it. The last test, there was a mistake on one of the problems, and it had to do with a sphere, the volume of a sphere, and the actual volume of a sphere. So the actual volume of a sphere was 4/3 pi r cubed. For some reason I messed the equation up. And what was interesting is some of you messed the equation up in the exact same way that I did. You got the exact same incorrect answer that I got. I just found that kind of interesting. But so the volume of a sphere is this, and you just stick the radius in here and cube it. I forget what the value was, but hopefully we won't have any similar mistakes on this problem. Okay, let's get started. So number 1, I'm going to plot these points. So 0, 1. So 0x, 1y is the first point. I guess I'll try to write these here. 0, 1, not 0, 10. 0, 1, and then 10, 2. Well, here's 10. 1, 2, 10, 2. It's right here. Minus 3, 1. 1, 2, 3 in the minus direction, and 1 in the positive direction. That's right here. 2.51. Okay, you have to estimate this. 2.5 is halfway between 2 and 3. And 1, oh, it's right here. So 2.5, 1, probably be in the way of another one. Minus 1, 0 is here. All this space, and I had to put all these points right next to each other, huh? So, okay, minus 1, 0, and then minus 8 and 5. Okay, I figured out that I could use some of the rest of this real estate here. Minus 8, 5. Nope. Minus 8, 5 is this way. Minus 8, 7, 8. Minus 8 is here. Come down or go up 5. Minus 8, 5. So out of the gate, I almost made a mistake. Minus 8, 5. All right. Let's continue on. Okay, we got the set problem here. So is the vehicle color a function of the vehicle? Well, if that's the case, then for any of these vehicles over here, we should have only one and only one color. So looking at this closely, it's hard to see. We have fire engine and there's only one color. We have ambulance and there's only one color. We have tow truck and there's only one color, blue. We have New York cab and there's only one color, yellow. We have steamroller, dingy gray, and then we have Tatooine land speeder, which is also red. So these two are both red, but there still is only one color for any one given independent variable here. So you could think of these as like the independent and these as like the dependent. So yes, this looks like vehicle color is a function of vehicle. So this is dependent on these. Okay. And it's not necessarily a 100% true statement. It's just a mathematical problem. Do the sets of point pairs listed below represent y as a function of x? Well, that means for every y value, there's only one x value. So the first one we have a 0. So 0 produces a 0. 1 produces a 0. Again, this is a situation where we have the same y value repeat, but still it's the x value that we only have one value for. And then 1 minus 3. Okay, well, here's a problem. This one and this one, we have, if we put a 1 in our calculator and hit return, instead of getting 0, we get 0 and minus 3. So there's two answers here. So this is a no. Pretty hard no there. So 0, 0, 1, 0, 2 minus 3, 3. So this one, there is no doubling up here. So this is a yes. And 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. That's a 1-to-1 relationship, actually. And this is also a yes. And then number 6. Last one on this page. Look at the equation below. In each, does y represent a function of x for all real numbers? So now we're looking at equations and doing this. Y equals 3. Well, that's just a plot of a line here. If this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, this is the line y equals 3. And you can see here that if I pick any x along this line, there is only one y value. Only one y value. So this is a yes. Y equals x. If you were to plot this, then, and it's not necessary to do that, you can use a table, but if you were to plot this, it would look something like this. Here is y equals x. So it's a diagonal. And again, if we pick an x value, here if we pick an x value, there's going to be a negative y value, but it is only one. X value negative y, x value here, positive y on this side, x value here, another positive. So this is also a yes. Y equals x squared. Well, let's look at it. So y equals x squared. Over here we have x and we have y. If I stick in a 0, I get a 0 out. If I stick in a 1 in for x, 1 squared is 1, I get 1 out. If I stick in 2 for x, 2 squared is 4. If I stick in minus 1 for x, minus 1 times minus 1 is 1, which is the same y value here, but each x value only gives us one y value. So this is a yes. And if you went as far to plot this, it would look like this. Is what we call a parabola. So that's what it would look like. And you can see again, if you pick an x value, you get only one y value for each you pick. Y squared equals x. Okay, so let's try our table again. So this is going to be y squared equals x. So if I stick in a 0, get a 0. So far so good. If I stick a 1 in here, y can be 1, but y can also be minus 1. That also works. So that's a problem. If I stick a 4 in here, y can be 2 or minus 2. So this is a problem. No. And if we were to plot this, if you plot it, this would look like this. So you can see that if you pick an x value here, you get a y value there and a y value there. So that that shows that it's not, y is not a function of x. Okay, so we want to find four ordered pairs if we know that this is our values for our four values for x for each of these equations. So this involves putting these numbers in this equation and figuring out what the y corresponding y value is. So for the first one, we've got y equals -1 plus 5. So our y value looks like it equals 4. Our second one is y equals 0 plus 5. So y equals 5. Our third one, y equals 1 plus 5 equals 6. And our fourth one, y equals 2 plus 5 equals 7. So you have to write the point pair down. Just solving these equations isn't enough. So we have -1, 4 here. So these are the answers now. And we have 0, 5 here. And then we have 1, 6, and finally 2, 7. So these four ordered pairs are your four answers for this one. Okay, same problem, another problem here. Let's see, we've got 3 times -1 plus 4y equals 8. Well, we have to solve for y. Boy, I just didn't leave enough room here, did I? All right, since I didn't leave room, I'm just going to write the answers. So first one, we've got -1, and y then turns out to be 11/4. 0, 2, 1, and y is 5/4. 2, and 1/2. Okay. On the Cartesian plot below, graph the line. So let's pick some points out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here and then create a second video to finish up these last couple problems.